Not bad today. Love you, man. Here we are. Hey, Gagey is here. Craig is here. Oi, Craig. Howdy, Gagey. Ian, I'm glad your foot feels better. How long you think you got in that boot? Gagey says never enough sugar. Craig says, how am I doing, mate? I'm excellent. Thank you. How are you? Ian says, did you know that it's impossible to say the words "or" and "might" together without sounding like an Australian? That's so funny. That's hilarious. Oh, I'm glad y'all did it. Maybe 8 weeks. But it's better than broken, right? But give you a reason to get on the couch for a little bit. Say when the universe needs to give you a break, when you need to take one, or give you one on its own. Don't look too much. Hopefully I won't break it. Cafe. Violin royalties in the corner. What's going on? The weekend watering himself. Would you rather watch a tree grow or a Negro? I know this Negro's tree grow well. The title of this thing is more important. Under the oath. It's nice one, mellow. It says, how are you, mate? Love from the UK. That's a British flag. Valerie says, hi. I'm so glad that Craig comes in here and says, no. It's the only opportunity I get to say that. It's the only one. I can't, people wouldn't know how to react to that here. We'll start with the violin, some assembly stuff here today. I need to thicken up the back of this, and the back of this, and the front of this, because I'm going to end up having to carve this situation out. And yeah, that's just how it's going to have to be. So I started cutting this without it, and then I felt guilty. And I was like, well, I'll tune them in. I really did think, like, nobody's going to care. And I was like, somebody might care. And generally, y'all know I hardly have any long form videos up, so really the only way for me to kind of get in real traction is if people come back and watch these videos, like after a while. And so this way, it's kind of like a long form. You get to see the entire process, you know, just jump around if you need to, but I think it's important. And other thing I want to talk to y'all about today. I was thinking about this last night, and I'm gonna have to make some decisions, right? That are probably not gonna fit me, benefit me, algorithmically. And you know, it is what it is. But I want to kind of talk about really what I am. Because I'm not always, whole life, I've been called something. I'm always given these titles. And the titles are always relevant to the thing I happen to be doing in the moment. And I've always kind of internally weirdly taken offense to it. And I don't know how exactly to describe why or how I'll try my best. Because I am going somewhere with this. I know it's very, you know, talking about myself. But I was called an artist for a long time when I was a kid. I could draw. I was also called some other stuff because I have an engineering type brain too. And so in certain things I excel, and certain things I have zero interest in and I don't excel at all. Right? And I think that what I have, what I am, I'll just say that, is kind of you know how they used to say sharks have to keep swimming or they just die. They can't breathe while they're still. It's sort of built like that, right? And I've always got to be doing something. And although it's kind of complimentary that people would say, oh man, you're like this or that, and you're this thing or that thing, it always felt a little bit empty because I don't want to be an artist. And I don't want to be a contractor necessarily. I don't want to be a carpenter. I don't want to be an iron worker. I don't want to be a sculptor. But I do want to do all of those things. I don't want to, I don't want to spin pottery. I turn pottery, however you say it. I don't want to spin stuff on a lathe. But I also want to backpack and fish. which is why my channel is Wes Does It and not Wes is Woodworking and not Wes the Contractor and not Wes the Fisherman. I feel like I got dumped on this planet with a very limited time to be here, like a trial membership or something. And I want to do all the things. And anything that excites me, I'm going to try to do. And I'm going to want to do, and I'm going to do, right? But the other side of that is, as far as the algorithm goes, sometimes I'm doing something that the people who initially tuned into me don't want to see. And I get that. And that sucks a little bit, maybe. And I don't know who it sucks more for, me or them. I don't know. But what I do know is that I'm going to run this channel just like I run my life. I started off a roofer, I learned drywall, I learned framing, I learned erection, I learned plumbing, and now I remodel out and design houses for a living. That's where my income comes from. Because I didn't want to be pigeonholed. Heck. So maybe there's a little bit of that here. And I do apologize if I get to some stuff that you don't necessarily want to see. But if you are a member of this channel or you just watch me, there's plenty of opportunity to reach out to me and say, hey, Wes, I watch you for this and I'd like to see that. Can you do more of this kind of video? I'm all the way with it. I'm all the way with it. Get the visit from this interactive right now. That's where my attention went. I don't even know what you want from me. But you're going the right way. All right. Sorry. Live and live. Hopefully when you come under this table and bite me, like paying me back. But listen, I might be doing some weird stuff. I might make a puppet. Halloween is coming up. I might make a giant, I don't know. But what I do know is every time I switch gears a little bit, the algorithm is like, US, whatever it was that I was doing, it doesn't like it when I'm doing something different. So I don't know if the subscriptions these days keep you locked into the channel or not, algorithmically. I think basically it's just how often you're watching, who you watch, and stuff like that it feeds back. It's a direct reflection of your online behavior. So I don't know exactly how to tell you to keep up other than a subscription or something. But I'd love it if you did. But seriously, if I'm doing stuff you don't want to see, you can let me know. It does not mean I'll change it, but it does mean I'll take it into consideration. And it might even motivate me to do more of whatever it is that you want to do. I am kind of a people pleaser, but I'm working on it. So now what I'm doing here is just, I'm not extending this per se. I am widening it so that I can keep covering more ground, and I'm just keep filling in here because I want this to thicken up into a bigger piece, a wider piece, and then I'll sculpt from that. But anyway, I just want to let y'all know that, just in case I disappear from your algorithm, I haven't gone anywhere. YouTube has sat me down to try to tighten me up. But I'm a rebel. I'ma do what I do because I'm a rebel. Oh my God, I love pumpkin carving. My whole family, me and my kids get together and I get a big ass pumpkin for everybody. And we draw them out and whatever power tools I happen to have at the time. And whatever carving tools or knives or whatever, some contract stuff, to be honest. And we just have at it. And it's kind of a way for me to kind of introduce my kids into tools and some fun because pumpkin carving is pretty safe. You're not going to get much kickback. You could destroy your pumpkin, but that's about it. But if you look through my shorts, you'll see some pumpkin carving from last year, maybe? No, I haven't been on YouTube long enough for that. Well, yeah, I'll do some pumpkin carving, for sure. The one and only Nicole says, could you become more whiter like Michael Jackson? I don't know. I don't know. Could you become this? That's white. That's like ghostly white. Like, yeah, ghost. You can become ghost and kablooey. Ian says, I'd like to say this. If you can't find a way, make a way. This is a fact. Ernesto says, is that a guitar? No. That is a violin. D-Rose the Goat. D-Rose Goat says, what's your favorite basketball team? I don't have one. I don't watch sports that involve balls. I don't know if that makes sense. I can't sit down 3-4 times a week and watch 2 hours of anybody doing anything that I'm not actively trying to learn. So I don't have the attention span to watch those kinds of sports. I will watch boxing. I will watch some MMA. I watch a lot of boxing. I will watch some MMA because I used to be a fighter, and I never was a high-level boxer. So when I watch boxing, it doesn't make me want to box. When I watch MMA, it makes me want to do it again. And I'm far too seasoned to go back. Now that it's a way to make money. It didn't used to be a way to make money. It was just a way to get aggression out of Fight Club back in the 90s. But not the 2000s. The one and only Nicole just said something else stupid as piss. Let's go ahead and take Nicole right ass out of here. Oh, there you are, Nicole. It's hard to see it. It's hard to see it. Such a close place. Let's just get you out of the channel forever. How about that? Forever. They've made silicone violins down to less than a grain of sand in size. And I get the cinema. Frostbite thinking it says. I don't get what you... I'm lost. I don't know why that... This is going to be a pendant. Similar to this. See? So that's why everything is happening. If this is happening, it's going to be a pendant. And I don't know if a grain of rice size. So I don't do stuff just. Let me take that back. I was going to say I don't do stuff just to see if I can do it. I have to have a goal first. I have to be solving a problem, even if that problem is, does anyone need a freaking violin pendant, right? Whatever the thing is, I need that much. I didn't get enough stuff for that. Dang it. But because of that, I can then focus. You have to have a framework for focus. You know what I mean? You have to have a direct, like, consider it like a boat, right? You can have an incredible boat and put it in the ocean. You've got little or no chance of landing on the island that you want if you don't have a plan for it, if you don't have a course charting for it, if you haven't, you know what I mean? So you kind of have to have, I have to have a direction to head in, and a way to make changes, and a reason to make changes and adjustments, etc., etc., etc. And that will drive me to a worthy pursuit. Whether potentially attain the goal, that's what I kind of need. Keep driving. Alright, what I'm doing now is making a mark, kind of an old school way, by just holding my fingernail to it and then doing that. But really what I need to do here is shave this down from here back to like half thickness. So that's going to be a blast. I was thinking I'd like to use this little small chisel, but I'm not good at sharpening that thing. So when it dulls out, it's pretty bad. Not bad anyway. So I'm going to try here. Get myself clean, straight line going across it. Don't do it this way because you might poke your thumb a little bit. I'm a professional thumb poker. Poking my thumb for many, many years. Not try this at home. These are stunts performed by paid professionals. People have lost their thumbs attempting these types of acrobatic maneuvers. Please, ladies and gentlemen, if there are children in the room, release them, set them free. Put on tunes. This will be a whole shit. On this side of the chiller, when the bevel is down, you're treating it like a shovel, right? You kind of want to scoop material to something. That's also why we got that little micro bevel in the back there. So extract that thing. But if you're trying to flatten, bevel up. You see? Getting there, but we ain't there yet. But now, here, I'll dig in a little bit because I'm going so narrow, right? That I am gonna go the side up. So I'm just going thin, thin, thin. You know, a couple of sheets of notebook paper thin. Now that I'm here, where I've got this little wall or shoulder, then I can go ahead and put the sander on that and knock some of that down. And just sand off that material much more safely now that I got my shoulder here to define the edge, right? The spider has come back. I didn't think he was asking for me to make him butterfly. He's trying to communicate to me like, hey brother, aren't you the guy that sends people to the afterlife? I sprayed him with a little all-purpose cleaner so that he would go chill elsewhere. He'll be fine. He'll be fine. Or he won't. Let's see. Let's get a green pad for this. It's going to be a little bit rougher. That's an 80, so it'll knock this off a little better than this 120 will. Let's get him going. Now the reason I'm doing this is because I am trying to form the back of this thing and the thickness appropriate for it, right? And, oh my God, where are these friggin' fruit flies coming from, man? Yo, I'll smack all this stuff off this table trying to kill us a fruit fly, I promise. And I don't want to. I don't want you to see that side of me. I want you to know you send peaceful, loving West Desert. Not the Conor McGregor version. Alright. Almost Space Ghost. I think I'm gonna go with that though. We're gonna make this a little bit shorter the same way. Knock off a little of that. Starting to feel like a Lego project, like one of those little builds where the dudes order the parts and then try to assemble it and make it look like something. Like, look what I did, it ain't compared to. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't be talking trash. Not bad. Not bad. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop the tiniest little bits of glue in here because it's the tiniest little bit of surface. But because I'm not going to be able to get in those little cracks and crevices if the squeeze out goes everywhere. You see what I'm saying? Gotta be careful. And it's okay to touch your artwork or whatever it is with your naked hand. Don't let anybody tell you different. Unless your artwork is a model. Well, it says I can touch you with my naked hand. Baby alligator clamp strikes again. Right here. just so wild when you're doing this raw wood, where oil from your fingers gets on everything, and the oil from your fingers makes it look dirty, and it makes you feel like you want to sand it again and clean it up. See, all of that is going to get rounded off and worked out eventually. And all this will get cut off, but I didn't cut these pieces previously, and I got to let my glue dry now before I could do it. So it's part of the process. We do have another little piece down here. I don't know if you can see it. Right here, where I've just kind of drawn it out. That's like the shoulder or chin rest or something. So we are going to cut a piece for that too. And we are going to recess it back down. And like we did this one, but we still have to round that off a little bit at the back. I'll show you what I mean. Let me show you what I mean. Alright. So what I mean is, this is set in there. I did chisel out a little triangle and then cut this piece, set it down in there, but it's not as deep as what I did here with this, the neck of that. So I've got to sand it down so it's not protruding so high. But I do have an idea though that I may try to do for the strings, and I don't know if it'll work or not. I'm making a violin pendant. So that I've got to do. So I want this to dry up a little bit more before, because you know that stuff will wiggle around a little bit on you. So what I also have to deal with today is another ongoing project. This one here isn't long to start yesterday. It is and has been ongoing. Violin says use fishing wire. I will not do such thing as that. I do not want it to be too delicate. Okay, this is the cane. This is the also. We got it cleaned up. We got it sanded. We got some stuff on it. And now all we got left to do is put the actual finish on it. It will be good to go on that. So we'll do that. Once I finish the neck, then I'll tackle these strings on here. And I don't think it's going to be what you think it's going to be. Actually, the string off. I think it will be a great surprise to me if I pull it off. I mean, Jesse says Stradivarius. T-Horse says Bumbo Clyde. What's up, Clyde? Bumbo Clyde. T-Horse says hi. What's going on, T-Horse? Jesus. Pull that camera up, says ATL Chronicles. I was trying to let you see the violin. I'm sorry. Were you seeing something? What you trying to see up here? This necklace? Fred Marshall says, you make Kane to like that one. Is that a pun? I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure what's happening. It's happy. I had to come off. Hey, I'm not doing this to show you something. I'm doing this to prevent showing you something. Alright? YouTube don't always, like, they'll tolerate me drinking coffee, but that's not all. Walking canes, they're walking canes, or, you know, pit bull deterrents. Both are necessary. Why not do both in one thing? That third sturdy cane. Meanwhile, while that is doing its due, here is Love is My I got two. I've not tried this. I got this out of the craft store, and it seemed to be good for what we're doing. I'm gonna try this on something else, maybe like this violin, but I'm gonna do this gloss 2K on that cane, but this stuff is super tough. Diego Silva says some words I can't pronounce, but how you doing? Stay healthy. Shake this thing up. Shake this thing up. How long do you got to do this? At least 2 minutes. We're gonna do some reps while we shake this up. We gotta get it out. This is gonna be good for like what do you call it? Like patting your head with your stomach. Look how awesome this is. I don't even know how to reps. Let's do it for right hand. That's how you can tell this is dominant. Oh, this is not awkward at all. Wait, look at this thing. Master Dogway says, love the fit. Thanks. This is my everyday, hold my pants up and keep my head warm. Also keep me from bumping into stuff. I don't have no protection up there otherwise. That's 2 minutes. Has it been 2 minutes yet? This is like an exercise in right brain, left brain, and switching back and forth from your what mind? What do they call it? Your creative mind, your attraction mind. Because also, your right brain controls the left side of your body, and your left brain controls the right side of your body. That's gotta be 2 minutes by now. ATL Chronicles, what did you say? Oh. He said, what's up in Portuguese? Well, what's up to him? You know, there he got. Alright. We're gonna have to spray this outside. Let's go ahead and get our fan set up. Try to keep the bugs out while we do it. Where's Peter to spray this cane? Maybe outside or on the patio. Oh good, you're just gonna have to come with me. wish I could hijack the Muppet Show music, right? Be my theme song. It's time to get your saws out. It's time to chisel right. It's time to meet with West. Does it look good? Couldn't think of anything wrong with it. Alright. Put you right there. Bam. You got a place to hang it. That's what you need. So what we do, spray that part first. Looking good. It's looking good. I'm gonna put it right now. I know I'm gonna have to come back and do something with that, but for the moment, I'm gonna let that be there. Off camera, I've got a fan over there spraying all of this away from me, so don't worry about me not having a mask on. Got plenty of open air right here. Very thin coat, and this stuff is kind of drying as I go, so I'm gonna just keep adding. Just keep adding to it. Let me get you a little bit closer. Closer and closer, deeper and deeper. That's more than I use on my truck. Should be good. Should be good. This beautiful patio. Thank you. It's getting there. It's getting there. I got all this junk on it because I was building that last time we were out here. And then I left some of my crap on top of the other stuff I built. I gotta. Yeah. Go ahead and get some brownie points back with the wife. Throw this stuff back over there while I'm out here. Why not? It is going to be a decent day today for the first time in a while. It's been so rainy. Somebody might want to come sit outside. Not deal with my nonsense. Ugh. Alright, so cane is setting. I don't see any runs. Don't see any runs. That's good. That looks good. Hope that stays as glossy. If not, we'll hit it again. I think we've done something. And I got this fan blowing at it. That'll help keep the bugs off of it. Meanwhile, you over here now? What's your deal, fam? What's your deal, fam? To the dungeon. Get on the floor. Everybody get on the floor. Is that a weapon? We are back. We're back. So I think we might come back and saying that finish on the cane, but that might be the end of that work on that cane. Unless that finish, probably wet sand it maybe if it's thick enough. But after that, that's it. That's it. We've accomplished something today. And then we got to figure out that bow tie. I think I got to go get one out of my closet. You may not be surprised that I am a bow tie guy as well. Greetings and good morning coffee to you all. Hello, Senor Rutledge. What up, mister? Sorry. I have, see, I can't read the chat on my phone the same way that I can over here because I can see, like, on my computer. Raja showed up. Hey, Raj, hadn't seen you here in a while, but I'm glad to. Saw you live, I think it was yesterday. Good to see you. If you want to see some incredible wood turning, Raja is like, I couldn't imagine anybody that's more efficient on that thing. I couldn't imagine it. He's amazing. Shout outs to him. Violin Royalty says wooden bow ties are in. Yeah, like man, maybe 10 years ago, maybe. Someone asked me about that. And I was nothing, not that I am now, but I was not at the time. I didn't have any woodworking tools. I wouldn't wear that hat if you tried to put it on my head. I wouldn't take it. And a friend of mine was like, yo, wooden bow ties would be dope. And it blew my mind. And I was like, yeah, that would be dope. And I started trying, and they all looked stupid. Well, not they all. I tried it once. It looked dumb. It did not work at all. And I said to myself, I need to do more research on wood and tools for cutting that stuff. And so now. Angel says, I'm so old. Incredibly old. Look at this. Look at this gray in the hair. I'm building canes for crying out loud. I don't know why I got Irish in all this. Anyway, if you want to see some cool turning, that's Raj. That's all I'm saying to you. Do not subscribe to Raj, you're missing out. It is, you could put him on the television, not like, look at me on a big screen. You could put Raj on a big screen, clean your whole house every time you come back past the living room. You'll be like, yeah, that's amazing. You sit down, drink a cup of coffee, and watch that dude work. It's quite impressive. Anga says, try something. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe English is not your first language, and maybe Google Translate is doing something weird. I'm not sure exactly what's going on. Amika Dennis said hi, and I'm saying, deuces, what up? Howdy. ATL Chronicle says, you better hope you live to be his age. Jeez. My age is an old attainment. Golly. People are hoping to live my age? Oh, no. I didn't, that realization is just now, like, you're so old, you might not be a current life expectancy. Jeez. Nikki knew what it do. Nikki knew, my apologies for not making you blue sooner, but I'm gonna have to. I gotta see you in the chat, lit up and recognized as part of the fan band. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I was watching my man's Lions this morning on his live, and you should check him out too, Lions Fish Shop. And I went in there, you go in, you hit the like, I wasn't talking yet, and freaking Lions brought some work up, brought up this violin actually. Before I was even in there, and I was like, what? It's nice when people are talking like good about you behind your back, you know what I mean? It's pretty sweet. Felt really nice. Felt really nice. Unsolicited compliments from people who actually do similar things to what you do. But better. Which is like, kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier, is that being a polymath does mean that I want to do everything that I am doing on a high level. But it also means recognizing when somebody's on a higher level so that you can have a goal to attain, Guess I am getting old, sitting here dropping random grandpa advice. Mickey says, thanks, Wes. You're welcome, Mickey. Roger. I'm also going to have to make you a moderator, too, because I got to be able to see you when you're in here, man. You are definitely a long-term friend of the channel. Can I do a close-up of the violin so far? Absolutely. That's actually why I use this side of the camera. So right now, we're on the front side of that bevel, but see how hard that bevel is on this? I'm gonna do that all the way around and see if I can get a nice round over there. And all of this looks like junk right now, obviously, but the way a violin seems to go is that the neck, let's see if I can show this cleanly. This neck goes up and then it recesses back at this point, and then it curls back forward here, right? So I need enough material to go back, round back forward, and then come back. I may even have to put more here in order to come as far forward as I want. But, and then all of this is going to get sanded back flat after, and you know. But I'm not as familiar with violins, so I have to like keep going back and forth referencing, and this has to get sanded down. Smooth, sorry. See how thick that is right now? Yeesh. I want to get that smoother, closer to that kind of reveal than that. I don't want anything clunky. So, I think that's where we're at. I guess I'm thinking it. That's where we're at. So what I'm going to do is work on that a little bit now that that's dry, because I'm using super glue on things that I don't have to sand through. The super glue has a different texture than wood glue. Wood glue, when you glue two pieces of wood together, you can barely tell that you're crossing a glue line. Super glue you can tell, and it changes how you have to approach it. So, but it holds tight, and once it is, you can work it. So I'm going to try to work it here. I'm trying to decide the best way to go about it, because I don't want to scratch up this surface, but I need a harsh sand here. I'll try to do it this way. Just kind of knock over the top for a little bit, sand it straight down, and then come back and round over. In truth, it tapers up and then back and down this way, but I don't think he's going to try to play this thing, so I don't think we have to be perfectly true. But at some point I'll get enough time to do enough research, and I promise you eventually I'm going to build a guitar. So I got like a little bucket list of things that I want to build so far. I'm approaching the end of my first bucket list of things. Definitely a cane was on there. Definitely a mallets were on there when I first started. And definitely pendants, jewelry, things like that are on there. One thing that's also on there is a ring. I want to figure out, runic makes wonderful rings. It's an amazing process to watch, stealing ideas from him. But really just I'm stealing ideas. And getting the courage to do it. Like, that's one of the things about, I think anything we want to do. If we see someone else do it, and we get to see the process, we can decide whether or not, one, do you love it enough to go through with that process? Two, it gives you the confidence if you do. You say, oh, I just got to do that step. And then there's another step. Oh, I just have to do that step next. You know what I mean? So, for me, that's it. That's a good way to do it. I am trying to put that bevel on there and that tilt on it because I know it's supposed to be there, but I'm still who I am, which is slightly compulsive. But, you know, slightly obsessive. But oddly, not very possessive at all. This is a commission piece. Who donated incredible amounts of money to the West Desert Foundation. We also have to cut that, so we gotta figure that out. So we gotta figure that out. So I'm guessing we just go back again. Some wood. It'd be nice if I had a third thing to introduce, but I don't think I do. Not one that I'd like to introduce, anyway. And this may be one of those things that this Dremel is going to have to do, is to pull off that edge, but I'm going to have to hit that same angle, follow it around. So maybe it makes sense to just carve out that right there, follow that line, and just remove that material altogether. And then whatever I place in there, make sure I got a nice clean shoulder here, match that, and then I can just cut the rest by using the back as a template, just using this almost like a little router to go around. All right. I'm going to define those lines so that we won't start cutting off more than we want. There we go. It's knocking it down pretty fast. I'm getting a nice shoulder here. Gotta remember to do something that's attainable on the other side. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make the piece that's gonna fit in here, so I can't be too complex with it. Otherwise it won't fit. It'll be too difficult to fit. And I can't go too deep because I gotta be able to match it around this edge too. I probably would do well to go ahead and mark that. Give myself a defined edge so I don't accidentally go too deep. Let's say that's about a third of the way down. greedy, Wes. Don't get greedy. Put it on. Put it on. Get out of it. Another tools, Wes. You don't have to do it all with power. You're right as always, Wes. That's why I listen to you. That's why I teach you. Thanks, buddy. You're welcome. You know, I'm gonna feel your wife's butt later. Go. Son. Soundtrack. Cut that shoulder. Nice and clean. Nice and smooth. Protecting your thumb. Entire way. Hand slips. Ugh. Nothing's in danger. Always think about, what if my hand slips? Ugh. Nothing's in danger. You put anything back there. Alright. Finish this shoulder. Ugh. That thing like a little plane. Work our way over to our shoulder. This ourselves a nice flat area. Because when we lay that other piece in, if it's sitting, this is not a lot of surface area, so you gotta have it as flat as possible to get a bond fully. We want a full adhesion. We don't want little pieces flaking off of this thing later, making it look dumb. Here's frequency. The reason the fruit flies make me want to assassinate them is because of my coffee, man. One was floating around the rim of my cup. That ain't cool, Daddy. That ain't cool, Jack. So we're going to apply our same techniques we're doing with chisels, right? You gotta remember, all of these things are just little versions of the same thing. Sharp blade, little knife, plane, chisel, scraper, whatever. It's different types of knives, different types of blades. And they can be sometimes used not in the original or obvious application. But one thing I learned as a carpenter, right? when you build a deck or something, or you put a deck on a roof, anything, whatever it is, and you got nails in there, what you do is you turn your hammer sideways. This is a mallet, not a hammer. Same principle applies. And you slide it back and forth across the surface. And if there's a nail there, it'll clunk off of it. And you'll know where they're at. Bam, you just hit that nail. Principle-wise, this is very similar. I'm just sliding it across there, right? And if there's something in the way, it'll catch on it. And then I can slide it off. Or slice it off, put a little more pressure in that same exact spot. So that thing's going. And then I'll drag my blade back across. See if anything else is bothering it. A little bit of action right here. No big deal. Drag that blade back across and check for it again. Now, I might have an idea for that. I might. Carnage says, "Morning, Wes. What's going on?" I would have sprayed. I can't spray the fruit flies because they're in the air. They, and they hovering about me. I end up spraying myself in the face. It's just, I don't know how many there are, but it's just, I killed one this morning. There's been a second sighting, so. Lions is in the building. What's up, Lions? I was talking about you earlier. I was like, you know what? There's a wanker. Guilty. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. Oh, don't go by the knives. Oh, did I get him? Yes! Bird around. Loaded on the shoulder. Kill like today, but kill like tomorrow. Bird down. Though inside must be hollow. All those that feel to take their life. Alright, we have built up enough material there for us to have what we want to have. Almost. I've still convinced myself that we need to come forward a little. No, I'm not. I need it to still be flat on the back. So if I go back too far, I create too much of a bump, it gets weird. I don't want it to get weird. Chill out. Wes does it. We can go ahead and put that in while we're still obsessed with it. Or we can go with a brand new idea right here. I do have a brand spanking new idea for this. If I have it available. I don't know if y'all remember a minute ago in that cane that we got outside. I'll call them eyes because it looks like Gonzo. But the eyes of that cane are resin. And I typically don't do a lot of resin pours and stuff like that here, but if we wanted to introduce another color right here, we could do it with resin. And I think black would be dope. Man, sometimes the zoom just makes it look so rough. But that's better than my eyesight will see it on a screen this size. But it's good to see it this way. That way you can polish it down or something. See those little lines that I got around there? That's going to be the end of the bevel, so most of it going around, right? But the pour we're going to do is right there. If I've got some left. Oh, I do. I do. I'll give you some idea of the size of that thing. I need the tiniest amount for it though. But I've got to still mix in some black to make it all work. Then do the pour with the resin. So oh my gosh, now I'm thinking maybe with the little openings. Oh, I gotta do that too. That might be cool in the resin. I don't know if I'm confident enough to get inside of those little lines that I'm gonna make in that thing to do that. We can contemplate it. Because I'm going to have to freehand those things. I think I am going to have to like I can draw them in, but I'm going to have to hold that tool because I'm going to have to do it with this. And purport, look how big that is compared. Of course, I'm going to have a different tip on it. It's a tiny little space, but I have to do it. Like you couldn't not do it. It'd be dumb not to do that. So, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. Whatever it is. Let's get our resin color. And we'll figure out how to, what we can mix this stuff in. We need a tiny little container of some sort to do it. I'm going to go with black, unless there are objections otherwise. I could go with a golden, or I could go with a coffee. I think black or coffee are two, because that coffee is not likely to be the same brown as any but that, so that could be an option. But black might add some very specific depth. So, I'm going to bring you back a little smaller where you can see a little bit more. And we'll have this together. I think I'm going to do the coffee. Why not? Might be more interesting. There, if you're in the chat, you'll see Carnage Bladesmith discussing his channel stuff. Welcome, Carnage. And Lions, who has an incredible channel with all kinds of interesting things going on over there. Also a fellow polymath, I think. Great to see him in the chat. You should definitely go check out that channel. What can I do to hold this on? I can use this. Yeah. And what can I use to mix that in? Why not this? Yeah. Why not this? We'll just make a container real quick. Make a container real fast. clean this off. That'll be perfect. Right there. All we need is some sides, right, to have a container. Got loads of tape. That's easy enough. That's it. I don't think we're on a slight incline, so we don't need to do too much. Hold on one quick second. My phone's making sounds over here. I want to make sure it's not getting ready to cut off on me. Okay. Are you charging or are you not charging? Yeah, you're charging. You're charging. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to get us one of these little scraps like that. That's going to be what we're going to work with. And we're going to squeeze some of this stuff out. And try to do it half and half. And you can put a little, when you double plunging these, you can put a little pressure on one side versus the other side. And you can actually end up with a good mix. Because they are not the same consistency. So one's going to want to push out a little bit faster. So I'm going to mix these a little bit on their own first. And keep going in the same direction it says. Try to keep the bubbles out. I'm going to add a drop of brown. That was supposed to be a problem. That gave me plenty of color. Plenty of color. Still going around in a circle. Now this stuff is supposed to sit up in like a minute. 90 seconds it says. So we're going to pretend it's true. And we're gonna put the sticky side here, but not there. And then we're just going to slide that around that side, right? So just fill in all that gappage. Tuck it underneath real tight. Press it, press it, press it. Press it, press it, press it. And then I need to grab a little bit more tautness. It's gonna be better right there, right? And anything else that don't make it, it'll be fine. So just scooping it up and dumping it in there, really. And then now, I'm just going to let it manage its way into that cavity. That's it. Now it says 90 seconds, so that means it shouldn't be very liquidy very long in there. You can see already we got little bubbles popping. But primarily I just don't want it to go too far beyond what I've got here. So my table's tilted this way a little bit. I'm going to let it tilt that way a little bit. I might even add a little angle to it, because more of it this way is no problem. I'll just sand it off. More of it that way, it's getting on my wood grain, and that's a problem. So keep it lifted, because we can always clean up this back side. Get you a little bit closer in on what I'm talking about. Maybe you can see it better. See? Red Rulet says, good call with the resin as a chin rest. Thank you. Robert G. got a question. Structural screws or nails attach hangers to the side of a deck for stair runners. To attach the hangers? Really, you can go either. Now, if you want to be extra careful, do both. You can use the nails that come for the hangers. You know what I'm talking about? They'll be short. Those are the ones that go straight in, right? There'll be slots, there'll be holes that are just holes on that hanger. And then there'll be holes that come in at a 45. The ones that come in at a 45, you can either use 3-inch framing nails, which would you would probably say, it'll say 12D or 16D. You want something at least that big. And you hit them in those diagonals. And then the short ones in the holes. And they'll be like, I'll show you what I mean real quick. I wonder if I got any hangers in here. I may. Let me check real quick. But I'll show you that. I did not have a hanger, but I do have a structural tie, right? So, oh man, I'm all on my crotch. Jeez. Sorry. I'm still super sweet. All right. Show you what I'm talking about here. Imagine there's an angle here, right, where this is intersecting with that, right? That's what you're talking about, because that's how the stairs connect. But you would cut that down there, of course, and it'd be like that. And the ties that you're talking about, if you can, I think this is the way you can see it. Okay, the ties you're talking about, this is your runner for your treads, right? And you're talking about the bracket that comes down like that, it goes like that, it's an L like that, and then underneath there'll be another piece that's coming down there and wrapping around the side of that piece as well, right? Everything that's got a flat, straight nail hole, you can use those little short nails. It only needs to be an inch, inch and a half, because it doesn't need to be deeper than that, because you're only trying to penetrate an inch and a half, right? But there will be angled holes where that thing turns like an L, and they'll be back here, and they'll be angled. The reason that those are angled, and the reason you need something at least as big as this is a 12D nail. This is roughly 2 3/4 inches, maybe 3. All right, the reason you need that is because at that angle when you go in, if you've got a short nail, say this inch and a half here, you go in at an angle, boom, after that bracket, that's all the penetration you're getting. So when you've got a 3-inch nail, that's the penetration you're getting. So all you're trying to do is get a big bite into this piece of wood. The brackets, the short nails, right here in the short spaces. The angular ones need to be that, or they can be deck screws, as long as it's at least 2 3/4 inch, so that it can get into that wood that it's attaching to properly. That makes sense? That's what's up, Robert G. What up, Mike? Mike in the building. Mike in the building. Violin Royalty says, Wes, you will make a good teacher. Man, are you crazy? With my temper? Let's see if this is hard yet. I'm scared to touch it. Yeah, that's firm. It's still a little stickily, but it's still firm. It's good enough to not be problematic from this point forward. So I don't think we need to mix this. We can see how easy it is. We just dispose of our little situation. Ugh. Don't need a container. Mike says, why are you not a member? Y'all don't think this is worth $3? 10 cents a day? Jesus Christ. I'm hurting my feelings. Don't make them say it. Jesus. Mike's the kind of guy or you'll ask a girl out and she just won't respond to your "do you like me" note, and he'll show up in the cafeteria the same day and like, "What's up? Why don't you like my buddy? What's your problem?" And she'll be like, "He's short and ugly, okay?" Then everybody will have to hear it. Hey, Mike, you're short and ugly. Simon says it's cool. Thanks. Thank you. Ronick said, yeah, he would. He'd be doing it for, like, trying to be good. Like, he'd be trying to be a great friend. But he'd be secretly humiliating you. Okay. We finally run into something that's too narrow for me to get this sander in, too. So we're going to have to make something. So I think we're just going to do this. That makes sense. And because I've done everything off-centered a little bit weird, now I have to knock down stuff that I didn't do right. So while we got this little sander right here, we're going to do that stuff. Mike had the most epic birthday gathering the other day on his Friday evening shooting the poops. I don't know if y'all watch that, but you should. It's a good time. I think it's 7 Central, which makes it 8 Eastern Standard Time. I think that's the way it goes. Mike, you can correct me if you want. Like you would. Mike has made a career of teaching me woodworking on the internet. It's amazing. You should go over to his channel. See what he's doing. Oh my God. You see what I'm doing now? Like that. I'm trying to give you a good view of like what I'm doing. I'll tell you who is masterful at that is Runick. I don't know if he's still in here. Runick has such a cool voice and such good working, fine motor skills, and it's fascinating to watch all that stuff he does. And he has a great camera setup.
where you just get a perfect view. You almost get his view of him doing the work. And what better view could that be, right? And his hands are like nicely manicured hands, not like these gunslinger hands I got. But see how I worked in a little toxic masculinity there, in my jealousy of Runick's nice hands. But nonetheless, should go over there. If you like up close, see exactly how it's done. He does this great pinstriping. It's incredible painting. And he also paints these figurines. It's pretty amazing. Does the most complicated lathe work I've ever seen on a pin. We've got a great group of people in here. You should take advantage if you have a chance to. I swear. Lion's Fish Shop has a whole fish tank over there now. I was wondering why it said Fish Shop. And I was like, I've not seen fish on this dude's channel. And then boom, the other day he's cleaning the tank. And then he's putting some fish in. And now we got a whole other element of mesmerization over there, which is nice. Because Lions has evening coffee, which is my kind of guy. And so while he's over there having evening coffee in England, I'm having morning coffee here in the U.S. And I get to have coffee with my buddy. It's a good thing. Go ahead and work that neck. Right there. Really, the sooner you get rid of your little sharp edges, the better. Less chipping. You can easily splinter messing around here with these little small pieces. I've still got some carving to do up here, but I want to get a little more dry time and get a little bit more of this other stuff worked out as I get to it, so that again I can get a bit more dry time on that glue that we just put on a couple bits ago. Tougher it'll be, and we need it to be strong when we start hacking at it again. I'm a little bit off right here. So that's the thing about sort of fine-tuning yourself to some degree, is that you can aggravate yourself pretty heavy by not being perfect. And you can damage work in the pursuit of perfection sometimes and completely fluster yourself. I'm saying that because I'm simultaneously praying that doesn't happen with the stuff that I'm doing right now. I'm trying to even out something that's just plain crooked, but I want to sand the parts down small enough where if one's a little bit heavy to the right, one's a little bit light to the left, sand the right one down until it's light as the left. You know, that's kind of what I'm doing right now. Because some of it I technically can't work out really. But that's also part of the charm of a custom piece. But there is slightest little bit of imperfections there. He says it justifies not having the talent to actually do it right the first time. But that's what I'm gonna tell myself. Slightly imperfections make it character. It's got character. It's not crooked. It's got character. Mike said he was lucky because he found a machine that'll run flux core, so no gas shield needed, and it runs for 110 volts, but it won't be doing anything structural with it. It doesn't have to be a powerhouse. What are you talking about? Razor edges, Mike. I can finally demonstrate what I meant by just running a bead and getting a blade where this flux core is tempered much harder than the mild steels turn into. Oh, okay. We're talking about shit that ain't my business. Gotcha. Oh, he's got a welder. Excellent. Excellent. Congratulations on that one, Mike. Two. Mike is also a polymath. And I say it to his face. You hear me? Dirty, sticky polymath. And hopefully, I mean, that's also why Mike is called Mike is making stuff. He's not going by Mike the woodworker. It's not Mike the machinist. Mike is making stuff. So he can make any stuff he wants to make over there. That's the reason for that. I imagine. That's what I've declared. I've decided what Mike's purpose is. Here's another problem we got, ladies and germs. If you look down on that, this piece is off center. I don't have, I need more material in here. Right in there. Right inside of there. By gum, that's what I'm gonna do. Cut a little bit off of that. And I gotta fill it in on this side right here. I've got to. That fits. So, do that. And do it with some glue. So it'll slide in better. Stay put longer. Jeez Louise. This guy. This guy. I'm going to drag a little bit of that out so I can get it on the sides actually. Right, on that side, that side, that side. So that I'll hit these shoulders. Now, just squeeze him in. Come on, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me in front of my friends. Humiliated. Humiliated. Like a Hefner. Alright, let me shave a little bit off of this. I hoped it wouldn't come to that. But here we are. dirty sack of suds. Do it, do it, do it, do it, do it. Don't want that glue. Don't want that glue in. It's gonna push into that other stuff. Get out. Get out. Come on. You're in the way. Don't want you here. Good enough. That's the stuff. All right. Once again, my good friend, alligator clippers. Alligator clippers. All right. Got a little extra piece of wood. We'll shave that down, work it out. You know what I'm saying? But we got to be in it to win it. We got to have our full piece proper. Kind of want to put an actual clamp on it just to make sure I'm absolutely squeezed in there right tight. I'm going to do that kind of like a press right now. That worked. So we got a little bit of squeeze out after that. That worked. So we're going to have to let that dry up a little bit while it is. Try not to agitate it too much. We can pull this yellow tape off. Can we? Can we? Yeah. It appears so. What if it just came off in one black clump with the tape? So heartbroken. Alright, so that's just going to be a matter of sanding that off, sanding that down. We've got a little bit of elevation, which is what we wanted out of that, because we want to be a little higher than this, just to show the dimension. Lion said, I'm off to the pub, boys. Take it easy. Good to see you, homie. Runick says it's a dirty job if somebody's got to do it. Mike says, cheers. Sip the Winchester and just let it all blow over, mate. Runick says, drink one for me. All right. That is rolling at the night. Yeah. All right, so now I'm going to turn this a little bit. And that'll hold right there. And what I'll do next is figure out those little squiggly lines. I don't even know what to call them, that go in here somewhere. I'm going to have to erase these lines here because mentally I can't unsee them when they're there, and they agitate me a little bit because I need to develop the symmetry off of what I have now, not what I had to start, which is very close to symmetrical, but not being perfect is going to bug me seeing two sets of lines. It'll be hard to distinguish the edge subconsciously. I don't know if M. Murphy is in here today, but Murphy is one of my members, and he won the heart mallet yesterday. And Miss Heather over at Dad's workshop won the other. So that contest is now over. Unless I don't hear from Murphy by tomorrow. M. Murphy. Because I'll need an address to send it off to. And I give him my email, but I can only do that live. Okay. think now. Sort of doing it. Let me adjust some stuff right quick. Still see some things that bug you, boy. Fucking bugging me. Making my way, eating Chick-fil-A. 10 spots getting shot. Mistakes, something, baby. Sure would help a lot. Didn't you know your friends were gay? Sometimes you wanna know where your mind starts going. Big feet, but welcome to the world of shame. Let's live like you can still be in a cupcake. Right now, we're in the art of symmetry, the throes of how do we get it? How do we get it clean? How do we get it sweet? Let's see if this is ready for a sanding. It may be. And man, does this epoxy sand differently than the wood. It's a real crisis when the lap happens. You have to be super careful not to cut off all your wood. The epoxy is not coming off at the same rate. It's getting too aggressive. It's almost like you gotta just sand them next to each other, but not necessarily at the same time. Now this is epoxy, so the interesting thing about this is it's gonna have to get sanded all the way down to like at least 1,000 grit in order to get it back to shiny and clear and pretty. So right now we're on 80, so we got a long way to go. Fortunately, it's a relatively small space, so we don't have to spend a lot of time on it. Spend some time on it. Right now I'm just cutting the thickness down so it'll match up or get close to what we've got with the wood top surface. I think ideally I'd like to get it to the same height as that right there. That'd be good. You can kind of sand right next to it. Try to keep this parallel to the face, and then every now and then touch that, I'll move it up close if I'm holding it parallel to that surface. I am also slightly concerned about temperature. I don't know that epoxy gets bothered by the temperature of the from the friction. With sanding, I don't work with it very often. But I know plastic definitely is. Sort of the point of the chin rest is to be a little bit proud of the body, I think. So I think I'm getting some of that right, but I'm sure that I'm getting some of that wrong, and that I've never had one before. I think I'm going to relax on the sanding of that for a second. Change grits, go to something a little bit lighter. So I can get a little bit more detail and a little less scratchy. Go ahead and jump back to the 120 grit. Thank God heavenly stars that we have not had a gnat in a while. Jeez. This is the 120 grit. Each time we go up in grit, we get a little bit more refined. Take off a little less material per swipe, per pass, whatever you call it. But we get more refined. That's the goal here. This is 220. I think that is starting to expose like some air bubbles or something, which might be nice, honestly. thing is you can see those places where I have not bothered it. You can see how shiny it can be. The potential is there. This is a 400 grit now. You can see a little bit of the haze kind of going away, but not much. It's 400 grit. It's not high grit when it comes to epoxy. It's about as high as you'll go on wood, but that's a different medium. A, B, Z, A, B, Q. Oh. Oh. Alrighty. So I don't know who's monitoring the chat. Jesus Christ. I gotta catch it faster than that. Let's go ahead and make go ahead and make Carrie a moderator, because the rest of y'all are slow motion. Jesus Christ. That was a lot. Nonetheless, here we are. We gotta figure out how to make those little swirly openings. Appreciate you, Robert. Let's see. Now that we've got all this up here, this is probably dry enough to start working soon. I'm not going to say just a second, but soon. And then I'll cut this excess off up here. Now that we've got the thickness we want, now we've got, all that. We'll do some sanding back here, clean that up. And we're going to have to work some curvature out of all these straight lines that we have right now. Echo, yes, this is a violin. Cheryl says you are doing a great job. Carrie says makes me sick to my stomach. I'm sorry you had to experience that, Carrie. I really am. But I beg of you though, don't ever let a person like that give you emotional hardship. You know what I mean? It's bad medicine. You know what I mean? Because that's kind of the goal, right? That's kind of why they show up and do goofy shit, because they want a response. I once had a stalker, right? Dated her for a little bit and didn't like her. She didn't work. And she would change phone numbers and call me and do weird stuff. This was a long time ago. And I'm like, what's the deal? Why does this boil down to, I'm not interested, I don't like you, I'm not going to ever choose you. And she said to me, I'd rather have your negative attention than no attention. Right? So people that are doing that don't have any tangible reason that they can find for people to look at them or appreciate them or whatever it is that they're after, because this is an attention grab, right? That's what they're after. What otherwise would be the point. And they have tried many other ways to get attention. I'm certain by the time they get to that, but it doesn't work. And so then they resort to that because it works. And I hope they get the attention they need from whatever source that gratifies them enough to be all right and not have to seek harm in order to get noticed by really anybody. I think is what that kind of person would be after. Just anybody. Acknowledge me, please. I mean, it's probably the highlight of their day that I acknowledge them. They're going to say to, if they, well, they don't have friends, obviously, but if they had friends, they'd be like, today, dear diary, today I agitated this dude. Right? But I can't give him that. I can't give him the agitation. I can't do it. He's got to go back to his diary and say, dear diary, I failed at something else today. That's what that is going to say. Dear diary, I tried to rattle a total stranger with the strongest word I could muster. And it didn't work. Damn it. That's what they're going to say. Meanwhile, I'm going to have a terrific day because I'm doing a really fun project that was assigned to me by my good friend Violin. My day is going to continue to be amazing. What are the odds that a guy like that, or a girl like that, or whoever, is going to have a good day? They're not going to have a good day. Because that's the kind of stuff that they put in their day. You're making a day soup. You don't want to start with that, do you? Your day's going to be funky from the get-go. Enough of my ramblings. We can get this whole side sanded down to the same plane, same face. That will be our day's accomplishment. No, it won't be. It'll be one of them, though. I'll do the same thing over here. And now notice I got my sandpaper just skewed a little bit so that I can fit inside of there and continue to sand, you see? In fact, I might do a little bit more to get a little bit more. That way I can get in between. Getting there. Sometimes it takes a minute. Sometimes it takes two. Some love is fast. Some love needs to grow. Sticky glue love needs love too. I hope this isn't too hard to watch. Trying to scooch it along. I just want to get a good product at the end. Getting somewhere. Still don't really like these. Are not as clean as I'd like them to be, but you gotta win some, you gotta lose some. I guess. I do have to cut this. I don't trust it with anything, with a battery or a motor. So I'm gonna cut it here. Still a little bit further. But again, cut down to it, sneak up on it. Right now, we might as well get rid of the extra so we can start seeing our proportions. And that'll also help us start drawing out our curvature here and our curvature there. We are going back and then coming back forward. So there will be a little bit of that. In fact, a little bit of that right now. Hold on one quick second. I think I need to go get some liquid refreshment of some sort. Meanwhile, if there's enough of you in here, I'll leave it and come right back. If there's not, thanks, Violin. I appreciate it. Put something there so y'all can see the proportions of it. Not that big. Not there yet, but it's getting there. It's getting there. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it, Carrie. I do. I'm trying to figure it out. I think just gonna go around some corners real quick. But for a fast second, I'm gonna set those down. I'm gonna go grab some water. I'll be right back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Bye bye. Okay. So thank you for your patience while I took off. We got saliva. Put these back in the ear holes. Sorry about blowing in your face. I had to get the sawdust out. Some coffee out of the way. Okay. So now, as I understand it, our neck needs to go back this way and then curl over and forward this way. So this is going to come out, some of it, and come back forward. This is going to go down and back, some of it. So we got some rubbing to do. Try to do this handwork as much as possible. Not that I have anything obviously against the tools, but try to work the craftsmanship as best I can. Let's see, because here, you know, that's the piece that I had to shave down. I needed some material there, but I also need some more of it gone. And we wanted it to carry that curve. You just have to start making that curve. This be love, oh yeah, can be love. Don't let them fool you, oh no. Don't let them fool you, oh no. working swoopy swoop. Let me also double check and make sure we got battery. We got battery. We're going to start our process, sort of rounding off the top of this thing. And I'm going to do that with the hand sand because I'm not. It's going to go back like it did. And it's going to go forward. Something like this. I'm going to have to do that with this. see if we can make it make sense all the way around. Well, hey, Mike. Keep on. All right, guys. I have probably inhaled enough dust for the moment. Let's clean it off a little bit, get the dust off of it, and see what we got. Chat, blah, 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 blah. Yes, Mike, we get it. You can do all things better than me. You can make a better violin that plays and breaks the Guinness record. We get it. I get it. I got it. wish I'd been able to get to the bow tie today, but maybe because I've had 2 cups of coffee, starting to develop a little bit of a headache, and headaches shut me down completely, so I am going to maybe rest a little bit, relax a little bit, and see if I can shake that off without having to take a pill. If I do, I will. I appreciate everybody who has come out and hung out and watched and liked, and anybody who subscribes. I really appreciate that too. Thank you for hanging out with me for the time that you did. Shout out to Violin Royalty for giving me something to do. And shout outs to y'all for coming to hang out with us. It's really been a blast, no pun. I am gonna come back and figure out how we're gonna do the strings and how we're gonna make it ultimately look like a finished thing. The neck still is gonna get a little bit of work, probably, but ultimately, I think we're getting real close to a charm. I got small hands, so by contrast, I'll show you essentially how big this is. And thank y'all a lot for hanging out. I appreciate it. And I'm gonna get out of here again. I think I started that announcement a few times. But I'm out like Scout on a new route without a doubt. Peace.